This is the talk show that takes a no-holds-barred approach to politics, where truth and integrity are the standard and the Constitution honored. From Renaissance Studios, this is Champion News Talk Radio.
Good morning and welcome to another great edition of Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net, your choice for the conservative voice. This is Carol Parisi, and today our founder, Jack Roeser, and myself have two wonderful guests with us, Tim Kraulidis and Steve Balich. And gentlemen, you are a coalition of sorts, and I am so excited to have you both here with us on the show today. How are you doing today, Jack?
Oh, it's just real fine. There's so many things to talk about, really, but I feel like Alice in Wonderland. Now is the time to speak of many things, of ships and shoes and sealing wax and cabbages and kings and whether pigs have wings.
You didn't by any chance attend Barack Obama's Halloween party with the Alice in Wonderland theme now, did you?
He's not in Alice's Wonderland. He's invented his own dizzy place.
Yeah, it's like Hades.
I've talked to, at the Renaissance PAC, we've got Jim Edwards has been talking for the last year, finding candidates that are worth supporting in this coming election. And we've been vetting them, which means we talk to a lot of them to see if they're in favor of the parts of the Republican platform. Hardly anybody talks about the Republican platform. I don't think the Democrats have even got a platform. They're just winging it all the time to see what they can take home out of the taxpayers' hide. But we've got a very good platform in the state of Illinois, and got a lot of good things about the economy and also the social things. And Andy McKenna was, I don't like to pick on him too much because he's a nice guy and all that. He's got a lot of money, and his father's got even more, and is a Democrat. But Andy kind of ruined his 5 years as chairman of the party, Republican Party, because he said the Republicans should be fighting the crooked Democrats and fighting against taxes, but they shouldn't be involved in those divisive cultural things. Well, a good part of what's in the Republican platform is cultural, and just being a libertarian doesn't cut it all the way. You got to have a culture that has some real good basic things that everybody knows are the morals that are behind our behavior as people. And that gets us into the schools, which don't teach much about the social stuff except the left-wing kind of crap that Mr. Obama has been pushing all his life. But I'm not wandering here, because what we're really trying to do is this. A lot of people are interested in politics, and some fine do-gooder organizations are doing things like reforming education. But almost all of them are full of what I call palliatives. They're little tiny things around the edges, and they don't really attack the major problems we've got. The state of Illinois is really deep, because we are the most crooked state, and we are the deepest in debt of all of the 50 states, not 57 Obama thinks. Those are Arab states, not American states. And he may be worrying more about them. He sure isn't worrying about our problem. No. But we're in deep trouble, and we aren't going to get out of it with a bunch of palliatives and half remedies and people avoiding the real problem. And that's mostly what you get from the press and a lot of the people that are running in politics. Well, big problems need big solutions.
Getting back to your Alice in Wonderland analogy, you could certainly say that Illinois has fallen deeply in and is still falling in the rabbit hole.
Yeah. How far down the rabbit hole do you want to go, Illinois?
There's a lot of deep meaning to politically that went on with Alice in Wonderland, and the politicians have dug deeply into it without realizing that it had a meaning opposite to what they're doing. Obama, for instance, he and his ilk have changed our language around. So I think there was a queen in Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, and I was just going to bring the queen up, the Queen of Hearts.
And she said, my words mean exactly what I want them to mean. And so she can assign meanings to things, and that's what these liberals have done.
Yeah, but she also said off with their heads.
Well, I'm finding that if you want to talk about queens, you're talking about the chairmen and superintendents of these school boards. I mean, I've been going to school boards and asking them not to raise the levy. And
you've been a big proponent of that.
And we went to the 2 grade schools and 1 high school in our district, and all of them say the same thing. We have to capture the new growth.
We have to hire good teachers. We have to pay enough to get good teachers.
They don't even go into the paying. They're just saying that we have all this money and it's our money. We're entitled to this money. And they give the impression like if they don't raise the levy, they lose all this new money. They don't tell the people, which we are. We're telling the people that if you raise the levy, you're raising the people's taxes. Period.
And I think one thing they've done a good job at, and we've worked with them in this regard, is a lot of folks...
Why don't you guys talk, before you go another step, tell us where you're coming from and what in the hell you're doing.
Okay.
Well, go ahead, Steve.
I'm Steve Balich. I'm with the Homer Lockport Tea Party as an organizer, and then me and Tim and Vivian Porter are organizers for Will County Tea Party Alliance, and we're doing most of our things.
The press has told me you guys have all gone away, and the Tea Party doesn't exist, and it was never organized.
Well, we've gone away in the sense that we put the our signs down, and we're actually engaging the system, and we're running for office. And let me give you an example.
You are, and where?
Both Steve. I'm running in Will County, County Board 13.
That's Tim. That's Tim talking now.
Tim Kraulidis running in County Board 13, and Steve is 7, correct?
Correct.
Correct. Here's the interesting thing, Jack. You mentioned they said that we went away. I'll give you an idea of what's happening in Will County. There are 2 campaign offices in county. One of them happens to be in Homer. The other happens to be in Joliet, Plainfield. They're not Republican offices. The Republicans don't even have campaign offices in Will County. The conservatives and the Tea Party are set up their own campaign offices and are running their campaigns out of those against some well-funded establishment candidates.
And all the countywide candidates fund my campaign office that I set up for them to win.
Because the Republican Party doesn't have one to offer them. So did we go away?
I think they're morphing into a more powerful.
And then
they're like the Transformers.
I got a call from
you guys are
Reforming
crazy because you told me that you're running for Republican offices like Republican committeeman.
Well,
isn't this a traitorous act against the Tea Party?
You're going to love this one. I got a call from the city of Lockport, a city of Lockport alderman. Now we're going to school boards. He says we're going to raise our levy. Can you send some of your people down here to tell the board no? It was on I think it was on a Wednesday about maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, I can't get people there this short of notice, but I'll come with somebody. And I showed up there, and I explained why they shouldn't raise the levy. And the mayor was having a heart attack. You know, he wants this thing passed. So one of the aldermen makes a motion to not raise the levy at all. And then they have discussion, and the mayor took me out, personal attacks, of course, for like 10 minutes. And then another alderman talked about how, no relevance to the topic, how townships need to go away because I'm a township clerk. And then I went to say something, they said, you can't speak, and then they voted, and 5 of them voted to go along and not raise the levy. 1 alderman, and that was it. 1 alderman voted, the mayor didn't vote because he didn't matter. Right. And we weren't even planning on going there.
And you had your day.
And we our first victory.
Not bad for a non-existent
You actually got them
Tea Party.
to not raise the levy.
They didn't raise the levy.
Right.
Let me
Defeated it.
bring this down to a level where people understand what the job of the assessor and the board and what the levy is all about. The trouble is we're using esoteric words that nobody knows. What's the levy? See, I'll tell you what the levy is. The levy is the amount of manure that's been put on the manure spreader, and it's up to the assessor to spread it evenly. But he has nothing to do with how much manure gets put on the manure spreader. That's done by the people that are spending the money because they got a levy that's too big, and they aren't interested. They're talking about, oh, this man that's raising our taxes. No, it's the spenders.
Right.
It's the people that are spending the money that are hurting us all.
It's easy to spend other people's money. It's very easy. You could ask my husband. He chooses to do that all the time. You know what? We're going to talk more about grassroots organizing and being part of the system when we come back.